My name's Jax DeLuca, and I'm the Director of Programming here. Oh, good. Caroline is going to document you wonderful people in the chairs right now because we've realized we have a minimal supply of people in seats inside of our micro cinema for photos. Well, I wanted to say welcome, and I don't know how many of you have been here before and how many of you it's your first time at Squeaky Wheel. Is there anybody who this is their first time?
First time, yeah.
Wow!
Here. Yeah.
Wow! And yes, I remember meeting you earlier. Okay, that's a large bunch of people. And well, I should just give you an overview of what we do here. We are a media arts center, and we obviously have a micro cinema where we show independent films. But in the back, we also have a workshop lab, and then we also do off-site workshops in the community where people learn how to do hands-on filmmaking or video production. Also, more analog means of video making. So, for instance, Goda, the person at the bar over there, she teaches zoetrope and thaumatrope workshops, and that's with a record player in it. It's kind of like an archaic form of animation. So we teach kids how to do that, so they learn a little bit about how the eye works and how still images work together to create a moving image. So we do things like that. We have a workshop brochure, and that's up in the front. So if you guys are interested in our workshops, you can grab that. We also have a calendar that has some of our upcoming events here in the micro cinema. So I just wanted to give a little overview of what we have coming up in case you want to come back. Tomorrow at the Capellis, we are doing a thaumatrope workshop and a table at the Small Press Book Fair, which is a large event, and it has to do with a lot of zinesters and people who have small publications, and it's a really great time to go pick some great presents out for your friends. So that's fun. That's from 12 to 6, and it's called the Small Press Book Fair.
Where?
And it's
Where?
It's in the Porter Capellis Museum, and that's a manuscript museum. Have you been there before? It's a wonderful place. So it's a free event, so you could just stop in. It's kind of like an expo, and you also get a chance to hear some live poetry readings. So I suggest checking that out. We have postcards right over on that table too that you can grab if you wanted to know more about that. And then we have a deadline coming up for our Buffalo Youth Media Institute, and that is a summer intensive program for young aspiring filmmakers. And the application deadline comes up on March 30th. So if you know anybody in high school who wants to learn filmmaking, they'll make a whole entire film this summer on a specific theme, which has to do with the downtown Buffalo. So that's a really good opportunity. All that information's on our website. And that's also a free summer program. And upstairs and downstairs, we have 2 gallery installations by our regional artists in residence. And so I hope you guys got a chance to check those out. And coming up on April 6th, we have another documentary in here, and it's about metal typeface printmaking. And it's called Making Faces, and that's by one of our local filmmakers. His name's Richard Kegler. He's the co-founder of Winnieback, the Western New York Book Arts Center, and he's also the co-founder of P22. It's a type foundry. So that's going to be a very special event for him here. So he's going to do a Q&A about his first feature-length film, and the topic is very interesting too. So on that note, we'll get to the screening at hand, which is Cultures of Resistance, and we've been really excited to bring her in. And I want to thank Burning Books for being here to co-present this screening. So Ira Lee is the filmmaker of Cultures of Resistance, which is actually, Cultures of Resistance is actually a foundation, but this is the feature film that kind of gives a good overview of the kind of works that they do make. They have a Make War, not Make War, not Make War.
Make anything else but war.
Yeah. Flip that around. Make films, not war. Much better, much nicer. So Arthur Phillips is a representative of the Cultures of Resistance Foundation. So he will do a Skype presentation after the film. And I wanted to just read a little bit about Ira Lee for a minute, in case you guys aren't familiar with her. She is a Brazilian-Korean filmmaker. She's an activist, and she's the founder of the Cultures of Resistance Foundation. And she promotes global solidarity and supports peace with justice projects. And she's working on a variety of initiatives, and she's part of the President's Council of the International Crisis Group and the Council of Advisors of the National Geographic Society. And she's also worked on a couple other feature-length films, and those, let me give you the names of those. There's Synthetic Pleasures and Modulations, and a while back ago, she was part of the Gaza Freedom Flotilla, which was, well, it was something that had happened during the Egyptian, maybe you might want to talk about this. At one point during that movement, there was a blockade to bring in humanitarian efforts to Gaza, to these people, and she was part of a movement that was bringing in aid that got raided by some people from Israel, and during that time there was some deaths of about 9 activists, and she was on the boat when it got raided, and so she has some pretty notable footage of that attack. So she's a woman who's been in the ring, and she's been using media to alert people and inform people about these things. So it's a really good example of that. So that's why we brought it in here, and then we wanted Burning Books to kind of talk about it also, because it's a really good example of how organizing can bring forth change. So I'll let you take it from here.
Okay. Hi everyone. I'm Nate. We're from Burning Books. Teresa's in the back, and thank you for being here. So yeah, we have a bookstore over on the west side, and we focus primarily and specifically on we call it freedom struggle. People who work towards change through all different means, and that's our focus. If you come in there, we have posters and DVDs and CDs and T-shirts and books, and they're all related to people struggling for their freedom, whether it be on environmental issues, women's rights, slavery, globalization, statehood rights, Palestine. They're all different avenues of getting to whether people are making music or whether people are making art or whether people are writing a book. They're all ways in that people are using their energy in different forms to try to bring about freedom. And so what, and it's a very, we at first, we're all do art on the side, but it's not our major thing. So we always should have someone else come up and talk, because there's a lot of people who do really great art in the community who further the struggle. And I guess like art just serves, and song, it's like it keeps our own history, and throughout generations, and it keeps a culture of resistance, like in the labor unions, how had songs and artwork. The slaves had in their songs that they would have messages on when to escape, and it's like a long history of that. And I guess resistance, cultures of resistance, in resisting. One thing I noticed about the film, which does a really good job to explain the economic factors onto what a lot of these hardships are created from, and a couple of them just in it, like they don't have enough time in the movie to go into every specific thing, but they have like the Rwanda event, the genocide, and they don't go into, which they didn't have time to, but Rwanda, the Tutsis and the Hutu, that was a creation of 2 ethnic groups by the Belgian and German forces back in the early 1900s during the colonialism, and they forced them to take ID cards, and they made the one minority, the Tutsi, the leading, more wealthy group, and the Hutu, the majority conquered sort of lower class. And it was such a non-existent thing that the Tutsi who got poor would go to the Hutu, and the Hutu who got wealthy would go to the Tutsi. And then during the genocide, if you had a Tutsi pass that the Belgian would force you to have, and that card system continued up until those days. It was like a death warrant on you. So a lot of these ethnic, and it's for control of resources, and power, and like for example the Congo, again, they show this in here, and it's like all destabilized. And I guess my main point is that a lot, like, and we have a lot of history in the thing. It's interesting to figure it all out and to get into it. And a lot of it, people can think, it's just human nature that all these conflicts happen, but a lot of them have real roots in economic interests and real players, like within imperial powers that have real interest in creating divisions and people fighting, and there is a lot of unity out there. We have a lot of books about what has happened, and even like, and again they go Mossadegh he's in Iran, and they say the CIA took him out, which is true, but it's because he was nationalizing a lot of the oil wells and their resources to use for their own country instead of having Western powers do that. And that brings me back to my last point, which is Alex. We have Alex Mead. I'd like to highlight as a local artist. He does a lot of with the Bloodthirsty Vegans, and he has a song called Class War, and it goes through a lot of the same things, and it's very similar. And yeah, just art and music, like anything, can be used to do really powerful things if you choose to use it in that context. And a lot of people do around here, and I approve. And so yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Enjoy it.